The Lunar Module, or LEM, was the world's first true spacecraft. Nothing like it had ever been flown before. With its wafer-thin walls, the lander provided minimal shelter for the astronauts. Barely sturdy enough for its lunar mission, it was far too delicate to be flown or tested on Earth. NASA had to devise some sort of training simulator for their pilots. That's where this contraption came in. The Lunar Lander Research Vehicle, or LLRV, was basically a big jet engine that pointed straight down with a pilot seat bolted on the front. Dubbed the Flying Bedstead, the main engine eliminated most of the vehicle's weight, simulating the moon's gravity. Smaller side-mounted thrusters provided a pretty good imitation of the real lander's handling characteristics. You steered the vehicle by tilting it. Too little and you exhausted your fuel. Too much and you'd fall out of the sky. There was no room for error, mechanical or otherwise. Most of the Apollo lunar pilots had trained in the flying bedstead. The first one to land the real thing on the moon would be a matter of luck. Any of the crews could draw the assignment, depending on how the upcoming rehearsal flights turned out. One of NASA's most experienced pilots, Neil Armstrong, had had his share of hair-raising adventures in both the X-15 rocket plane and the Gemini spacecraft. With the LEM, however, he had to learn a whole new way to fly. Armstrong activated the trainer for another landing simulation. Equipped with just enough fuel for a 6-minute flight, the trainer balanced on the thrust of its jet engine like a dinner plate on a broomstick. Each moment teetered on the brink of calamity. And then a thruster failed. Armstrong tried to compensate. Armstrong pulled the ejection ring at the last possible moment. Apart from a bloody tongue bitten on impact, he was unharmed and anxious to climb back on board.
I remember Al Bean told me a story that, you know, he was in the next office over from Neil, and he was just sort of out in the hall, and somebody mentioned that Neil had to punch out of the LLRV that morning. And he went next door and said to Neil, "I heard you had to eject from the LLRV." And Neil said, "Oh, yeah." And he hadn't said anything about it. I mean, it's just like, not remarkable.